Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes Report. And pro-Russian peeps, are you sick of winning? Can you stop winning? Just look at these numbers, these ridiculous numbers. Holy shit, this way too much. Stop winning, this. So too much. So we're going to cover this. We will go through. There's a lot of frontline changes for 2 days. So this definitely, by the look of it, is already going to be bigger than the usual. But of course, as usual, this is not meaning that the Russians captured all these grounds in the past 2 days. Because information can be withheld. So yeah, just to take note on that. First, we go to the Kursk front. At the Kursk front, we have this frontline changes update. I already reported this quite a number of times, but we haven't done the frontline change for this. So this big chunk, all these plus the geolocation confirmed the Russian full capture of Svidiklovo. So this basically ends the battle for Svidiklovo. And the big chunk considered by the Ukrainians is on itself already 5.66 square kilometers. So this is already pretty big in terms of the frontline change. So this is the Kursk front, pretty straightforward. We have already covered this before. And then we go to Topoli. This is one of the latest update over in the Voreshna front. So Voreshna is here, Topoli is here. This is Russia. This is Okland, Okland. Just next to the Okland, geolocation of Russian forces has been noted right in the center of Topoli. Previously, the Russians have crossed the river on the southwestern part of Topoli, which means that there's high chance that Topoli entirely is now under Russian control. We have mapped it more or less accordingly. We haven't declared the capture just yet because there's still one more street. There's still a little bit more that we cannot fully confirm. But because the Russian border is here and then there is a bridgehead here, so I will assume that with this pincer, clearly this entire town is already taken by the Russian forces. So this is pretty significant. The geolocation is around 1.6 kilometers from the border. So that's all from the Voreshna front. We go next all the way to Bilohorivka over the Siversk front. So this is Siversk, this is Bilohorivka, and at Bilohorivka we have this reported in the situation report yesterday. Somehow for some reason, despite that I make a very cute title called Russia Nom Nom, quite a number of towns. The click-through rate is so low. I'm so sad. Next time I cannot use nom nom anymore. But the Russian forces geolocated here clearly shows that they have nom nom, this part of the northern part of Bilohorivka. So this is a place that have been exchanged hands between the Russians and Ukrainians for quite a number of times, because this is just a very difficult to defend place. It's undefendable. There's not much trees here. Actually, there is a lot of trees here, but this area here is just pretty difficult to hold. So this is what it is. And so after Bilohorivka, we go to the Bakhmut front. At the Bakhmut front, over at Krychorivka, this is claimed by the Russian mapping. By Ryba, they claim that the Russian forces have taken these areas here. They actually stretch into this area. But previously there was not geolocation. There was a mapping all the way up here. I forgot when was that. But anyway, whatever it is, the Russian forces have taken all these various tactically important positions, as well as the forest just next to Krychorivka. So this is the frontline changes over at Krychorivka in the northern flank of the Bakhmut front. This is Bakhmut, Krychorivka is here. Further south, there is also frontline changes. This is Tupochki. And this is Klishchievka. At Tupochki, there is some slight frontline change, which was changed on the deep state UA's mapping, the pro-Ukrainian source mapping. They changed quietly. I think, if I didn't remember wrongly, is Daniel Hutchinson in the comments noted in the situation report that he noticed some frontline change over in the Bakhmut, South Bakhmut region around Klishchievka, but it was not reported. So I went to check it out. I told him that I will check it out, and indeed there is frontline change. So this is a pretty big chunk. So of course this is a little bit, but this is the big chunk. So the Ukrainians quietly have updated the front line, showing the Russians have actually get a lot closer to the canal. Of course, the canal is all gray zone by the Ukrainian mapping, but this is a massive chunk. This on its own is 5.23 square kilometers, with the Russian forces securing basically everything east of the canal. So in case you do not know, this is a canal. Yeah, so this is a canal probably used for irrigation purposes. So yeah, so this is the massive front line change around here. This front line is 6 kilometers long. This is a very big front line. So that's all from Klishevka. So thank you for noting, because you see, we are a community, you know. So if you see something that I don't see, then do let me know, because I'm only human, right? So and I only have 24 hours a day. So if 1,000 of you guys all spend 4 hours a day, to see stuff, we'll have 4,000 hours on top of what I spent. I can never spend $4,000 hours a day. If I can spend 4,000 hours a day, I'm not human. So after Bakhmut, the next front line change, we go to the northern flank of the Pokrov front. This is Zelene Pole, and Zelene Pole, there is some front line changes around here. Ukrainian mapping have mapped that the Russians have advanced into Zelene Pole. Clearly, this feels a little bit weird because it's so protruded. But yeah, but this is how the Ukrainians map. But anyway, they confirm that the Russian forces have taken a strong position over in Zelene Pole. So and also I thought I actually move this mapping like bigger. So yeah, this is how I do it. I just move. I just have to extend the Ukrainian presence bigger, because yeah, we are running out of it. Just shows you how much the front line have changed. So after Zelene Pole, the next front line change is over at Lysivka. So at Lysivka, so in case you do not know, this is Pokrov, Minokhrad, Lysivka is here. So at Lysivka is where we have the only Ukrainian positive frontline change, where the Ukrainians themselves, by Deep State UA, claim that they have some successful offensive operation over on the eastern part of Lysivka. However, geolocation shows the Russian forces basically in the rear positions of where they think that they have moved, which means that the Russian forces, this is the conservative mapping, that the Russian forces basically have captured all these areas on the eastern part, on the western part and the north. So I would have mapped it like this, but I didn't. So no, I just, because it will affect the situation being mapped over at the Chanske just next door. So because this is previously mapped by the Ukrainians, as well as they have a successful offensive over here in the Chanske. So which is why I want to give respect to their this little bulge here. So because they are creating a new bulge here, so I'll give the Russians a bulge here based on the geolocation. So very fair, very fair. So that's all from all this bulgy region. Also after Lysivka, the next front line change, we go to Andriivka. So we go out of the Pokrov front over to Andriivka, and you can see this one hell of a mermaid auntie. So you can see this is the face. It's like, yeah, then this is the hair. It's probably curly, and then then they have this fins, and then yeah, you can see, and it's like, ooh. So this, yeah, so this is, I can give, yeah, I'm not sure, this is, yeah, maybe that is the hand, and then we can give it a bit, then we give the fin blue color, so you can see now better, and we give them green color hair, yeah, so you can see very clearly this is a mer auntie. So the Russians captured a mer auntie over here, and this is something that I have already mentioned a lot of times, because impossible salients are impossible. And finally, the Ukrainians have acknowledged that this impossible salient is actually under Russian control. And we are talking about quite a number of places. So we have to go bit by bit. So the Russian force, this entire region has been disclaimed by the Russians and by the Ukrainians. And because this is just impossible, and they have mapped the front line that the entire eastern outskirts of Andriivka is now totally under Russian control. So this secures Shevchenko, and that leads to also the further closure of the Ulakli salient, which I did mention is going to happen. In fact, I think the front line is going to be here. So they are just going to slowly move the front line to make it as if that they are fighting, but actually they already lost it entirely. So geolocation also confirms the Russian capture of Ulakli. So this is already done as well. So this is already gone case. Clearly the Ukrainians cannot be in the open ground here, and because the Russian forces already taken the southern part of Constantinople, they can't possibly be here as well because they will be encircled. And the Russians is already back here over in the south. So of Andriivka. So the Ukrainians can't possibly be here, nor here, nor here, nor here. So this entire region is just going to be under Russian control for sure. Like this guaranteed. So the fact that just to update that this geolocation which has happened, which is pretty new, basically invalidated Ukrainians' own disclaim of their own mapping. So previously the Ukrainians draw this weird intestine, right, and then they push up north, and then they realize, oh, they screwed up because the Russians are pushing here as well as they push out. So they draw it like this, and then they try to eliminate this. They rub this off and put this as a gray zone. However, the Russians are now geolocated right at where they previously have mapped, which means that the Russians basically have taken the massive chunk of Andriivka, which they still have not acknowledged. They just draw everything here as a gray zone. So yeah, so that's the current situation. And if the Russians are here and the Russians are here, the Ukrainians cannot be here, which means the front line, it should look like this. So we are still a bit way off from where the most likely reality is. So there is still this big chunk to go in terms of frontline changes, but it will come. So that's why I say in the beginning of this video, this frontline changes is not reality per se. It's just that over the past 24 or 48 hours, we got all this information. The frontline most likely have already progressed days, even weeks ago, to reach to the point on this map at this moment. So anyway, and the entire scenario here, this claim here is gone. This impossible claim, and this entire chunk here is, as I predicted, abandoned by the Ukrainians. So the Russian forces also taking everything. I'm kind of lazy to draw too many arrows, but yeah, so I draw bigger arrows. Okay, I know how. Yeah, better, right? Yeah, I don't need to draw so many arrows. So om nom 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 nom, om nom nom, nom 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 nom. Yeah, so that's that's the frontline change over at if I use this as the thumbnail, is it a bit funny? Okay, but anyway, yeah, so I don't know, or maybe I should put the mermaid, the mer-andi, not mermaid. So these are the frontline changes around at Andriivka. We go to Velika Novostilka, we have quite a number of frontline changes as well. Over in, so the Velika Novostilka is here, by the way. We're going to go to Novo Ocheretuvate first. Over at Novo Ocheretuvate, we have Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source mapping this. They did not mention this. As you see, they said Ulakli and Bulatsky, but they didn't mention Novo Ocheretuvate, but they actually changed the mapping here. Russian forces basically taken a strong foothold along the Mokriali River, and they also acknowledged the Russian presence over on the eastern part of Novo Ocheretuvate. This area here is mapped as a gray zone, most likely is under Russian control, which means the Russians have taken Novo Ocheretuvate, which is exactly what the Russians have announced yesterday. So this is likely to be the case, which means the Russian MOD is pretty on the ball, pretty real time. Over the Pulatsky region, in this sector, so this is Vremivka, Velika Novosilka, Bulatsky, Privyane. So Novosilka, so just get some bearing. Russian forces basically have advanced towards Bulatsky and taken all of these grounds around here. Yeah, Bulatsky is a bit far. So yeah, that's why I have to put it down. So Russian forces taken all of these areas here and they are continuing to advance, largely seemingly with limited deterrence or limited limited restraint or obstruction from the Ukrainian forces. So they are going for Privyane. They are going to conquer or already conquered Novosilka and moving towards Bulatsky in the north over there. So So that's all from this area. And in the north of Rivnopil, geolocation also confirmed the Russian claim is accurate, that the Russian forces have actually straightened the front line in the north of Rivnopil. So that's about it. I think that's all the frontline changes we have over the past 2 days, the past 48 hours. And we're going to do some mathematics. So first thing first, we just summarize a bit. The biggest capture is around Andriivka. So Andriivka, because of this this Mer-Anti, this whole chunk itself is huge. It's 24.18 square kilometers. The furthest point we have all the way to the front line is 7 to almost 8 kilometers. So a very, very huge amount of ground. So cannot be taken over 48 hours. It's definitely way earlier. And it's just the Ukrainians refuse to acknowledge the frontline changes all this while. The second biggest is over at Pokrov, due to the frontline changes over at Lysivka, as well as over in Zelene Pole. This area looks very small, but actually if you zoom in and try to figure out how small, where's the house, you may see that this is actually a very big region. You can see this is just that the farm or the field is just way bigger than the normal sizes further south. So let's say the house is 1 dot. Okay, so this 1 dot size. If you go to the further south in this position, if we need to zoom in to the point where it's 1 dot, yeah, you can see the Zelene Pole is actually not small at all. So then the third biggest is over at Velika Novosilka, because of all these various frontline advances by the Russians. And of course, we need to also mention that Bakhmut is not small, and Kursk is also pretty big, just on the Svidiklovo alone. So we do some mathematics. Ukrainians actually have some capture. I forgot to note. Let me see. Oh, it's here. I actually it was noted, but it was like not seen. So this is actually so Ukrainians is actually 0.43 square kilometers, and this is a claim, by the way. And we do some maths. Where's my calculator? So okay, so let's find a better scenery. Yeah, let's find the anti here. So let's not cover the anti. Okay, so we have 6.09 plus 2.48 plus 1.21 plus 7.36 plus 15.26 plus 24.18 plus 10.02. So the total area captured is 66.6 square kilometers. Clearly, the sign of the devil, which is why they need to deter and fight against the Russians. So yeah, because they are the orcs, right? Which have nothing to do with the Christian devil. Like, I do not know. Yeah, they will just, you can just make up any stories. As long as you demonize the Russian, it works. So anyway, so 66.6 square kilometers captured over 2 days. So it's around, yeah, my math is failing, 33.3 square kilometers. So this is more than 30 square kilometers per day. Like I mentioned, this clearly not over the past 48 hours. The frontline change probably happened before that as well. So the previous are around 10 square kilometers. So there's definitely an increase in frontline changes over the past few days for sure. And so this is just that now we are getting more and more updated to the latest situation. So 66.6 square kilometers, huge frontline change. So thank you for watching. So hopefully you get very tired of winning for the pro-Russians, and pro-Ukrainians, hopefully you get tired of losing. And I'll see you guys in the next update.